The Legend of Zelda has been around for so many years, and I, for whatever reason, have just never really heard much of it. Obviously, that needs to be fixed, and so today, we will be listening to 7 more pieces from The Legend of Zelda that I may or may not have heard before. Let's start up with The Legend of Zelda, The Phantom Hourglass, Linebeck's theme. First of all, I love that it's basically just a repetition of that phrase there. What's really fascinating to me is that obviously I'm looking at the picture of Linebeck right here. Poor guy. He's got the mid-30s look. Anyway, what I find really interesting about this theme is that it's playful. It clearly wants to be heroic. It clearly wants to be swashbuckly, full of enthusiasm and determination. There's a sense of adventure within it, isn't there? Well, it's a bit of a waltz. There's a bit of a dance-like quality to it. And yet, it is just ever so slightly kind of weird. And so it doesn't really deliver on that promise. Or it does, but it does so in like a kind of twisted sort of way. It just so badly wants to be excitable and courageous and tough, and it just isn't. And I really kind of admire that about it. Nice harpsichord. One of the clear giveaways too that something is not totally quite right with this is the fact that we get this boom boom bop bop boom boom bop bop boom boom bop bop. The lower brass, obviously on the Nintendo DS soundscape, the brass kind of ends up feeling kind of goofy and bumbly, doesn't it? Now it does have that ostinato sort of repetitive pattern in it. I appreciate the harpsichord in it as well. There's an aristocracy about this. It's almost like Linebeck fell into a lot of money and is bored and doesn't know what to do with his life. And so he decides that, you know what, I'm going to become an adventurer and I'm going to go do this, that, and the other. And he bumbles around a little bit. He's kind of awkward. He stumbles over himself. He doesn't know how to get what he wants, even though he theoretically should. It'd be like almost like as if he was like a mayor or something. It just like established this position that doesn't really have any, I don't know. He's got no like actual assertion of power, but it's warm. It's playful. It's friendly, but it's definitely just coming up short on the beauty of a true waltz, if that makes sense. So the thing is, like, the snare drum is the part where it feels very sophisticated and very marchy, right? One of the other reasons why I kind of am coming up with my own assertions about Linebeck as a character is because it's not legato. And the thing about legato music is that really legato is elegance. Legato is smoothness. Legato is the connection between notes. And so if it was smoother, right now it's ba 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 ba. If it was smoother, there would be more of a, oh, he's a man of class. He's a man of poise. He's strong. And instead, we get like, this is a really bumbly kind of guy. I mean, it's a cute song. It really is cute. It's definitely not like a piece that I'm going to put on my car. Right? I'm not going to listen to it for funsies. But it's very playful, and I think it hits whatever this character must be right on the head. Watch me be completely wrong. That'll be hilarious. Let's check out Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, A Knight Who Seals the Darkness, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Wow, what a different... Stacking higher and higher. Oh, that's amazing. Nice. Wait, we should talk about that little corner. That's amazing. So this is a big moment, right? This is the knight who seals the darkness, right? The title alone tells you everything you need to know, right? But automatically, we get this moment of like sort of coalescing around or within our hero, a knight being, I would assume, Link. You hear it musically right off the bat, this sense of gathering the forces or gathering the energy around the thing, kind of absorbing the power around you to be like, okay, it's finally time, I can do it, right? And you lift up your sword and you say, I will seal the darkness. Right, and so the cool part about this is that the horns are the tell. Listen how amazing this is. So it starts really bombastic. Check this out. So that's like the moment where everything kind of joins in, right? Or that's when the birds separate, or where you see the vista or what have you. That kind of soundscape is such a synonymous thing with appreciation, or with changing, or with embracing something new. And I love that because if it spins like that, it almost feels like wind, you know what I mean? Strings. Now, this is so dope because these are chord. What's gonna happen? You know what I mean? There's the way that we isolate those is that, again, big dynamically stacked chords that just stack and stack and stack and stack and stack, and it builds up energy and it builds up excitement. Harp going crazy. So obviously we get hyped up because we know that that's obviously, you know, the Legend of Zelda theme. This is the sound of Zelda. But on top of that, what's really cool is that we have this wonderful thing that occurs where it feels like things are sustained. In a way they kind of are. But the thing is, like, those violins and those strings are moving, right? But it's the horns that are taking the melody. And what's actually really cool about that is that there is quite a bit of that legato. So in the sustaining of the notes. So even though it's doing right, the strings are moving and the horns are moving, but the stretching of moments make it feel like it's suspended. And it's just such a heralding of like a new beginning, and it's very exciting. You do actually. Let me just stop really quickly there and correct and say that you do have some sustaining in the lower brass or the lower strings that are and so that actually helps this as well. And it's interesting how we have three distinctive sections. You have the strings going, you have the horns doing, they're the lead, and then you've got the lower section that's really supporting and buoying the strings and the horns there. And then we reset right here. Dum, dum, dum. I love the harmony here as well. To go up like that is smart. Strings take it over. Nice sustaining. That's so cool. God, those strings are so gorgeous. There's some syncopation, ba, ba, and that is also cool because it kind of comes slightly in a different beat, which makes it, I think, have more impetus because of the way that it hits. It really feels like it like ushers in something because it goes ba 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 ba. It doesn't come in when you would expect it, so then it kind of perks your ears up a little bit because you over the top you have ba 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 ba, and then underneath you have ba ba. That syncopation is really, really nice because you have the sustained stuff up top that's predictable with a little bit of that like sauciness with the syncopation on the lower part. That's so dope. That's huge. Now we're riding on the horse. You can feel that, right? Man, that harmony. Oh, it's so good. You know, why is this theme so mesmerizingly good? Obviously, the chords play a key part of it, right? Because without the chords, you don't have the emotion. Without the emotion, you don't have the, you kind of need all that stuff. And from my lens, it's like, it's just so good. And it's just so good because why? Because of the way that it's written, because of the chord structure. It's all the things like... It's sort of an enigma to me because it's like, what makes this so incredible? Like the sense of triumph, the sense of adventure, the sense of possibility, the sense of like stepping into yourself and being like, man, I can conquer anything. That's just incredible. And yes, we require the chords in order, and the rhythms and the melody in order to get there. But it all comes together in that beautiful like goo that is like a composer sitting down and writing something and like having like being touched by whatever, right? In a way, composition is kind of like this miraculous thing, and really any artistic pursuit is this miracle that happens because a team sat down, or Koji Kondo sat down alone and was like, yep, that's it. And the thing is like, look at how Mozart, or look at Beethoven, look at Puccini or Verdi, they locked Verdi away for years. They called the Galley years, and he came out with like 6 or so of the best operas that we still perform. Composition is incredible. The fact that people pull this stuff out of their asses, I mean, like, not literally, but, it's like, how? Slowing down is such a classic thing. And then the horns, the trumpet takes over the So it's this beautiful mix of legato and sharp rhythm and sharp movement that it creates this incredible cocktail of virility and joy and adventure and triumph and justice and fighting for what's right. And the thing is, like, it just speaks to us on a cosmic level, and you don't need me to mention it. I mean, it's obvious, right? And this particular arrangement, I will say, is really divine. Like, it's it's a moving forward momentum type of piece where, but then the thing is, like, if you were to slow it down and make it really, really slow, then suddenly it would be really somber, right? Like, it's incredible how tempo just dictates to us how things work. And like this speedy tempo with this rhythm, all of it comes together to produce this incredible sound that just feels like it carries us off into another dimension. It doesn't feel like it's Link's like thing. It feels like it feels like it's ours, It feels like, yeah, I can do anything. What a fundamentally terrific piece of music. I loved that. Let's go backwards in time and go to A Link to the Past. Lost Woods. I've never heard this before. So, fundamentally, what an interesting piece, because on the one hand, it describes the forest in many different ways, but the key ways that stick out to me are a place of wonder, a place of mystery, a place of fog, a place of danger, a place of magic. As it plays, that's a playful melodic structure. A little bit of the, like a appoggiatura. That has a bounding energy to it, right? But it's actually different because we go ba ba ba. But that inherently is a negative or dangerous, or, well, negative is not the right word, because it's interesting. Like, I don't necessarily know whether music can be negative or positive. It can be sad or happy, but like but sad is not necessarily negative. So forgive me for saying I don't necessarily think it's negative. But point is, ba ba ba. That's like, what the hell's going on here, right? You hear it laden within the like chords there, and then you get this beautiful, and you get the actual melody. Like, it's very interesting. And then you get the little bit, this little bird, right? And that to me sounds like possibility. So even though it has this kind of like Lost Woods, kind of dangerous, kind of dark, kind of foggy, unfriendly, unwelcoming, whatever, it also has this like, as you might find in here, there's a bit of like, ooh, what's that? You know what I mean? There's still a warmth and a brightness in it, which is kind of shocking. I don't know. It's cool. I mean, it's really, really simple, isn't it? Let's check out Majora's Mask, Song of Healing. Now, I did read all of your comments regarding Majora's Mask, so I have changed my perspective on the sort of roguelike qualities of that. So thank you for correcting me. And also, I'm really actually more intrigued to sit down with it now. It's certainly on my to-do list. I feel like playing a Zelda game that isn't Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, like something older is very an important thing to do. It feels like almost like it's inverted. What is that? Did I just make that up? No, I'm a genius. No, that's from Ocarina of Time. Is that eponema? Now I'm coming at this with nothing. So I'm naturally going to attach myself to what I feel when I listen to this. And to me, this song, Majora's Mask, Song of Healing, it's like, where do I go? Where do I turn from? You put your hands in the air and you're just like, I don't know, man. Like, it feels like everything's kind of slipped through my fingers. Like, what is this life, right? Right there too, because dissonant chord. Dissonant chord is if to say what the hell? What happened? And that's cool. You actually feel like this is being played by a person, which is really interesting because there's a little bit of push and pull, a little bit of rallentando, a little bit of slowing down, and then there's a little bit of rubato where we're sort of stretching, and then we make it up. Rubato is an amazing technique where we slow down and then make up time by speeding up later. We actually get some of that here in the last couple seconds where I just stopped, and it's mesmerizing. Listen to how it feels like dum dum da dum dum. Dum 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 da da dum, and we pick up again. It's really cool right here. Right there. There's a little bit of speeding up, ever so slightly. I mean, it's like rubato. It's like, wow. Da da yo. Dum 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 dum. See, and it goes up, and it's interesting because it goes bum bum yum bum. It's like, man, everything has just fallen apart. And yet, is it possible that maybe there is still this little tiny sliver of hope in there? Because it doesn't resolve down. It resolves up. Now, I don't know what's true or not true in terms of context, but what I hear is like, it's just alone in a room. It's mid-afternoon. It's cloudy. And everything is just falling apart. But maybe there's a tiny, tiny, tiny silver lining, which is why we go bum, bum, bottom, bum. I love that about this. And again, I mean, like, who knows what's right and wrong? Well, you do because you've played the game. But I don't. And the thing is that the Song of Healing doesn't have to be positive. Healing does not always feel very positive. In fact, healing usually feels pretty shit, doesn't it? But there's something about this, the way that it's written, that feels like, oh, I gotta navigate this and get better. Oh. What an extraordinary little piece. Are there two sections, chat? I'm confused, because why is the back section of this? Look at this. Why is this part most replayed? But isn't it the same? I'll just listen to it. I like too how on the left hand, even though it's like this amorphous lower strings, right? And I think like something about the MIDI piano feels so vulnerable. I would say that honestly, like I think one of the instruments that I think I prefer the most on the MIDI soundscape is the piano. It has a real like warm tone to it, and it just sounds really good. It feels very personal, doesn't it? I just love the way that it ends up top. I love the way that it ends up top. It's just a beautiful piece. Let's check out The Legend of Zelda, the Manish Cap, which... What? What is the Manish Cap? But this is the Manish Village. Holy crunch. So that's really cool because like you feel like an invitation, right? There's again a natural like sort of dancey lilt to it. It feels kind of otherworldly. Maybe the Manish are I don't know, like little elves. Well, no, Link is an elf. What is Link an elf? It doesn't matter. But all that to say, like there's a quality in that of real like, hey brother, how you doing? It's interesting how it ends in like, I think that's a diminished seventh, but it's amazing how it ends in a jazzy sort of like playful boom boom. Oh yeah, G minor seventh. Like I don't know what the actual chord is, but I adore how calm, collected, warm. It definitely has a peaceful energy about it. And it's about the lilt, isn't it? It's very welcoming, very inviting, but it's not like in your face. It's very, very, very gentle. Man, that crunch is actually obscene. It's so cool. It actually sounds like the bass that's not perfectly like balanced because the bass is so overbearingly present. It's like ba 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 ba. Really nice piece. I really enjoyed that. I know a lot of you were mad about Skyward Sword in the last video, and if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out here. But we're going to be checking out the Ballad of the Goddess. Let me explain why we were concerned about copyright. So that was why the Skyward Sword stuff wasn't in that video. So we're going to listen to this. And if I recall correctly, this is Zelda's theme in reverse. I can't remember exactly. I just love the harp, isn't it? It's... mean, like, it's just, how do you not just love the crap out of that? Like, it's just an incredible piece of music. It just is. Like, it's so adventurous. What I'm consistently just over the moon about is how much melody is a central part of that storytelling experience, right? I mean, like, you know exactly what that's about. You don't need some opera singer turned YouTuber explaining to you why you feel what you feel when you feel it. Like, that's good melodic writing. And now, is that actually the reverse of Zelda's Lullaby? Is that true? Did I just make that up? Is it? I don't think so. I think it is. Well, I don't know. Why would I even say that? Is that even true? That's neither here nor there. All that to say, like, I love this motif. No, what? Hold on. Yeah, wow, that's insane. I'm surprised it didn't rewind it and it wasn't Ganon just saying, I am the king of... Yeah, okay. I just love that. First of all, it's like crazy because it's like, what's it called? It's a musical anagram, isn't it? And knowing that it's reversed, it's completely screwing with my mind because they're literally like, Zelda's Lullaby is so tender, so welcoming, so soft. And then you get this and you change up the rhythm ever so slightly, add different instrumentation, and suddenly it's like, all right, you can do it. You know what I mean? It's almost like maybe that's Zelda's subtext in general, right? Whenever she's talking to Link, she's like, I believe in you, Link. Go, Link, Link. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how by adding brass and really leaning into that melody, we get this incredible, like, forward momentum. I love it, man. That Skyward Sword Ballad of the Goddess piece is so damn good. But honestly, like, one of the pieces that I've heard from The Legend of Zelda that I just love with every fiber of my being, you know it, you've heard it, you know it, it's this one. And I think like that piece just encapsulates like the thrill of a challenge. I actually don't know when that plays. Now, maybe it plays throughout Gerudo Valley. I'm pretty sure you're like picking something up and walking with it or something. I can't remember. But the thing I love about that piece, it's like one of two pieces I feel like that use flamenco and this flair to them. And the other one is in Ace Combat 0 of all things. The sensuality that is invariably in that with the clapping and with the guitar itself and with the, you know, the castanets, what have you. There's such a feeling of like, oh, I can do it. I can do anything. There's not much to add to something so genius. And I think part of it's because the melody is so good. And also like the rhythmic propulsion of that is just so incredibly satisfying. Forward moving, energetic, suave, debonair, becoming free and exploring the world. Like, I don't know, there's just like such an energy to it that is just so incredible. And speaking of exploring the world, I wanted to check out the Great Sea theme from Windwaker. Ha! Like, that's like, look at the sun in the sky. Look at, you know, the breeze is blowing the wind. What? The breeze is blowing the sail. It's just you on a boat. And just exploring. There's a sense of warmth of the radiant sun on your back. It's like the definition of an invitation to go out on a journey. That's obvious, right? But again, how do we get that? Well, first of all, what's really cool is that we get that same adventure theme that we hear, the main theme, but it was sort of broken up. And so that's cool because there's such a sense of discovery in that. Like, let me rewind really quickly and just talk about it. Like right there. Like it's such a vibrant thing, right? Even that, I mean, that's the crazy thing about music. When we really start to analyze the nitty gritty emotionally, even something as simple as that means something emotionally. That means, like, come on, man, we're going out. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? You come too. And you get bum ba 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 da ba ba da. And what is that? That's like, yes, I will, you know, yes, I can. Simple things like the way that we set music to rhythm, the way that we put the pitches and the rhythms together, that elicits a different emotional response. Ba-ba-da. You can even hear the smile in that, don't you? And the reason why, from a theory perspective and note perspective, is I'm not looking at the sheet music, so I'm just making it up. It's on the offbeat, dum da da, like all that little rhythm, dum da. That part, dum da, is before da, and so what we get is dum da da. It's a jumping off. That's the part that's really freaking cool about music, is that these little tiny minutia create so much emotional possibility. That's just a rhythm change. Ba ba da, ba ba da da ba da. Nice call and response, right? Just back and forth. And the cool thing about that, we know exactly what that is because we are people who enjoy Zelda games, and so we know da 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 da. So we take it out of context, we take it out of rhythm, we change it, we mix it, and then you get yourself a motif. That's like a 3-note motif, and yet you instantly know Zelda. What? You know what I mean? Like, that's the cool part about it. That's the cool thing about motif. Nice call and response, though. It's so. Da 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 da. Wonderful harmony. Even that. Don't you hear how, like, the way that we even compose the lower strings there, the lower like the bass, the basses, like that too is such like a it's so inviting. We need pitch, we need rhythm, we need tempo. Those are like the basic building blocks of any piece, but it's all the stuff in between, the subtext of the music itself. That's the beauty of music. because that's the interesting stuff to me. It's not the theory, which is important, and we need theory in order to elicit emotion. Theory has to come first and then the emotion afterwards. But all of us can sit down with pieces of music from our favorite series and be like, damn, not only is that nostalgic to me because it reminds me of XYZ or when I played it, but also, holy shit, listen to how like those horns make, you know, they kind of drive up the intensity. Like, you can do this. So like and subscribe. And thanks a ton. I'll see you for more Zelda, don't worry. Thanks a ton, everybody, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.